The story of Joseph, from dreamer to deliverer. Once upon a time in the land of Canaan, there was a young man named Joseph. He was 17, the son of Jacob, and his father's favorite among 12 brothers. His father loved him so much that he gave him a beautiful, colorful coat, a symbol of his special place in Jacob's heart. But this gift only stirred up jealousy in Joseph's older brothers. Joseph didn't make things easier. He had dreams he believed came from God. In one, he saw sheaves of grain bowing down to his own. In another, the sun, moon, and stars bowed before him. He shared these dreams with his family, and while his father pondered their meaning, his brothers' jealousy turned into hatred. "Does he think we'll bow down to him?" they grumbled. One day, Joseph's brothers saw him coming from afar. They had had enough. "Let's get rid of him once and for all," they plotted. They stripped him of his colorful coat, threw him into a pit, and debated what to do next. Instead of killing Joseph, they sold him to passing merchants for 20 pieces of silver. Those merchants took him to Egypt, where he was sold as a slave to a man named Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials. In Egypt, Joseph worked diligently, earning Potiphar's trust. He was put in charge of the entire household. But trouble found him again. Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of a crime he didn't commit, and he was thrown into prison. Even in prison, Joseph remained faithful to God. His kindness and wisdom caught the warden's attention, and soon he was put in charge of the other prisoners. One day, 2 of Pharaoh's servants, his cupbearer and baker, were thrown into the same prison. They each had troubling dreams, and Joseph, with God's help, interpreted them. The cupbearer would be restored to his position, but the baker would lose his life. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him and speak to Pharaoh on his behalf, but once free, the cupbearer forgot. 2 years passed. Then Pharaoh had dreams no one could interpret, visions of 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 thin cows, and 7 healthy heads of grain swallowed by shriveled ones. That's when the cupbearer remembered Joseph. Joseph was brought before Pharaoh. He explained that the dreams foretold 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. Joseph advised Pharaoh to store surplus grain during the good years to prepare for the bad. Impressed by his wisdom, Pharaoh made Joseph second in command over all of Egypt. Just as Joseph predicted, the famine struck hard. People from all over came to Egypt for food, including Joseph's brothers. They didn't recognize Joseph, but he recognized them. He tested their hearts to see if they had changed, and when he was sure of their remorse, Joseph revealed his identity. "I am Joseph, your brother," he said. They were terrified, but Joseph reassured them, "What you intended for harm, God used for good. He sent me here to save many lives." Joseph brought his whole family to Egypt, giving them a new home and ensuring they survived the famine. What began as betrayal and heartbreak became a story of forgiveness, faith, and redemption. Joseph's story teaches us that even in the darkest moments, God's plans are at work, turning trials into triumphs. What others mean for harm, God can use for good. The story of Joseph offers several timeless lessons. Trust in God's plan. Even when life seems unfair or filled with challenges, trust that there is a greater purpose. Joseph endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment, yet each hardship prepared him for his role in saving many lives. Resilience in adversity. Despite his trials, Joseph remained faithful, diligent, and hopeful. He didn't let his circumstances define him, choosing instead to rise above them with integrity and perseverance. Forgiveness over revenge. When Joseph had the power to punish his brothers for their betrayal, he chose forgiveness instead. He saw the bigger picture, that their actions, though painful, were part of a divine plan. Humility in leadership. Even as the second most powerful man in Egypt, Joseph acknowledged that his success and wisdom came from God, not his own abilities. God can use evil for good. What others intended for harm, God used to accomplish something far greater. This reminds us that even in difficult situations, there's potential for good to emerge. Reconciliation and family unity. Despite years of pain and separation, Joseph's willingness to reconcile restored his family. It shows the healing power of love, forgiveness, and humility. Ultimately, Joseph's story teaches us to trust in God, remain faithful in adversity, and embrace forgiveness to bring about healing and redemption.
Hi, friends. If you enjoyed this story and feel inspired, there's so much more where that came from. On this channel, we dive into uplifting, faith-filled content to encourage you in your journey. If you're looking for more inspiring Bible stories, lessons of hope, and moments to strengthen your faith, hit that subscribe button now. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss an update. Together, let's grow in faith and share God's love with the world. See you in the next video.